Of over 16 of the rarest personalities that exist in the world today, the INFJ personality happens to be the rarest of them all. In this video from Brainfield Media, we would be exploring the rarest personality trait in the world and signs that show a person has this personality. You can like this video and subscribe to this channel for more insightful videos like this. INFJ is an acronym translated into 4 words: introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging. Persons with this personality make up about 2% of the world's entire populace, and they have given them nicknames like the Advocate, the Counselor, and the Idealist. These names originate from the series of characteristics infused into their personality that makes them a rare type. Let's get to their significant traits. INFJs just know things. One interesting trait about persons with this personality is how they just happen to know things. They have an awful accuracy when it comes to intuition. They just know it, even when they have no idea how they know these things. Intuition works like a sixth sense. You just sense these things and you have no explanation for why you sensed it, but you did either way. It is like someone looking through you and figuring you out even without having to tell them certain things. This one trait helps explain why they, most times, happen to be more understanding of human errors than people with other personalities. Great at reading others. Their personality makes them seek to figure out how genuine a person is with the truth. They would easily see through the facade of extravagant gestures and would spot not just lies, but also half-truths. They prefer to see the good in people no matter what. In cases where the individual has no idea that he is lying to himself, they are able to quickly notice that too. One could almost say that their main aim in interacting with people is so they can understand them better. Imagine understanding people who might not ever get to understand you. Now we see why they feel lonely. They make people want to be honest with them. Have you ever happened to sit beside a person and you get this calming feeling which makes you want to open up to them, feeling as though you can tell them anything? Fears, dreams, secrets, basically anything. INFJs have this dominant character. They have a kind of aura that makes you feel at peace with them. They charm in the best way that makes you see them as someone you can trust with this information. More so, INFJs are great listeners and are able to bring you up to speed to where they are, already having seen through you. Tend to absorb other people's emotions. While it is nice that they are great listeners and are able to make other people speak openly and truthfully to them, mixing this characteristic with the characteristic of perfectionism isn't much of a nice fit. Once it is a person they care deeply about, they have this inclining nature that makes them absorb the emotions and moods of persons that are next to them. Like liquid, they take up the shape of the container they are put in. If they walk into a room where the faces are lit up in smiles, they readily become as happy as they are. Or if they walk into a tense room, riding on anxiety, they become anxious. Frequent feeling of loneliness. The likelihood that you would come across 2 persons with the INFJ personality trait once in a day is pretty low. That is for persons who are onlookers, and as such, this might not seem like a big deal. But for them, meeting someone like them is a Herculean task. They operate on a different wavelength than the rest of us and notice everything while making patterns of things they notice. They tend to see the world in a whole different way, and while they could appreciate other companies, they understand that they do not reason the same way. Hence their constant feeling of being alone in the thoughts and perception of life and its issues. They have a keen eye for beauty and quality. For people with other character traits, finding beauty in things might not be a priority. But for INFJs, they strive to be around the finest and most sophisticated things of life. They are quick to recognize the beautiful things of life when they come across them. Persons like this would prefer to go for the best quality even if it means they only get one of it, than go for a lesser quality for greater quantity, making them more of a minimalist. It serves as a calming force for them and makes them feel at peace. INFJs find it hard to handle conflicts. They don't do too well with conflicts. This is one of the drawbacks of this personality type. It does not necessarily have to be personal conflicts. It could very much be the conflict faced by someone they care about. They tend to pick up the conflict as though it is theirs and stress an awful lot about it till a solution is found. Most times, they would prefer to avoid situations and discussions that could lead to them having conflict with others. They could ignore whatever is wrong to avoid conflict, and this makes them easily misunderstood by others. They take perfectionism to a whole new level. Everything has to be perfect. They are faced with the constant fear of failure, which in turn propels them to try to excel at the normal standard of success. But by doing this, they tend to procrastinate on their duties. The fear makes them put off doing that which needs to be completed at a much later time. However, they tend to outgrow this overwhelming need in their subconscious to be better. This happens as they grow in age to maturity. INFJs cannot withstand criticisms. Perfection is one thing they constantly crave to achieve. They find it hard to withstand criticism. You could compliment a project to be great and find a single error with it and still believe it to be great. But to an INFJ, the criticism stands out greater than the compliments you have rendered to their work. Well, having the mindset to be clear of criticism is great, but it makes them more liable to constant burnout. They get to constantly doubt and discredit their work and push themselves to be the best at what they do. They are suckers for broken birds. Broken birds are persons that are always in one kind of ditch or the other, always in need of a fixer. Good thing that people with INFJ exist. This is drawn from the third word of their acronym, feeling. They are natural fixers, and you would see them gravitate to people in need of a fixer. Seeing as they are able to see through people, they know when someone needs help and are ready to put themselves out to help them in whatever way they need. They readily provide comfort and compassion. But this could get increasingly frustrating when these broken birds pass set boundaries. INFJs nurture the fear of being a bad person. They are often caught second-guessing themselves every step of the way. It is increased in how they want people to see them. They harbor the thought of something like a bad person to the other people, so they try to do what they think is right. You might want to criticize them in a cool way when they are in the wrong because they find it hard to move on from the criticisms. INFJs are true introverts. INFJs find it way easy to blend into the social scene because they are quick to get a hang of the kind of persons they are around. One might be quick to tag them as extroverts. However, they are true introverts. They could seem reserved when they are in a company that they do not know too well. They prefer the comfort of their smaller circle, connecting on a much deeper level to the people they care about. They could easily stand in front of thousands of peering eyes to deliver a speech, but would find it exhausting to mingle with the said crowd afterward. They find it hard to accommodate small talk. These types of persons reflect on the deep things in life. They reflect on the purpose and the bigger world around them. Hence, they are not great at keeping up with small talk. Small talk does not help reveal things about the speaker, nor does it have a definite purpose. They are purpose-driven, and as such would easily view small talk as a waste of their time and energy. You either be ready to have a good conversation about your dreams, aspirations, and missions, or you don't talk at all. You definitely do not want to talk about the weather with an INFJ. INFJs are high achievers and people pleasers. Aiming high is their only option. They handle tasks with so much care and precision, making sure that all the possible mistakes and errors are avoided. They are the best teammates you could have because you can rest assured that they will not be lazing off somewhere. Like other characteristics of this list, this has a bad side. They get to be used by other people to complete their fair share of the work due to their search for perfection in the overall task at hand. Gifted creatives, especially in writing. INFJs are great with languages. They spend most of their time alone, and for some reason, they gravitate toward using that time to enhance their skills and hobbies. Because of their introverted nature, they sometimes have difficulty conveying all of their thoughts in spoken words. They would rather depend on ink and paper to help them fully express themselves. Seeing as they are creative minds, creative writing ends up being their thing, and they are usually very good at what they do. They focus on the big picture. For this set of people, the goal is simple: to focus on the future, to see the big picture in every situation they find themselves in. They tend to act about 10 steps ahead of the problem. While they sit to plan, they make sure they do not lose sight of the end goal. But while this is a skill everyone would love to have, for people with INFJ personality, it could be a burden. This is because in planning, they begin to lose sight of the present. Their goal is in the future, and they tend to live in that future reality. Persons with INFJ are considered to be mysterious and contradictory. This is because most of their activities seem to clash frequently. With these characteristics, do you think you have the INFJ personality? If you are not certain about your personality type, you could check online for personality trait tests to take. Till the next time we bring you another exciting video, don't forget to like this video and share it.